Greetings everyone, welcome to this new build guide. We're not gonna do a full build guide this time, we're just gonna do a quick and dirty showcase of the build, and I'm gonna explain a few mechanics and what the pros and cons are with this. So let's start off with what is actually the pros and cons with doing a low life custom crit energy shield build. Well, first of all, we get a lot larger health pool. We're gonna have over 10,000 energy shield if you have good gear. You can get up to 12,000, I believe, if you have really OP gear. Right now I have 10,500, which is pretty solid, and it's a solid defense. It's not gonna, nothing is gonna really one-shot you at that point. And but you're sacrificing a little bit of your damage, so this one is not gonna have as much damage as the fire version, which is the life version I have a build guide on. But I mean, those are the trade-offs you kind of need to make. You cannot have it all, and also it's going to be extremely expensive to get the gear. I basically crafted all my gear on this character because the prices was just outrageous, and I figured why not just craft all the pieces myself. I might have gotten lucky on some of them, and yeah, I got pretty lucky. Let's just face it, I got pretty lucky. But yeah, this late in the league, some of you might have a lot of currency and you don't want to chase those headhunters or mirrors or whatever you want to chase in this league, and you just want to spend it on one of these, then this is a solid choice for you. You might be able to reach level 100 with one of these builds also, and it's a one button build. You only click the cyclone and everything dies around you, so it's awesome for that. So let's get into it. Okay, let's start with our gear. We are obviously gonna do chevrons wrapping, otherwise the low life version of this doesn't work. The other option is obviously to go a pure energy shield with chaos insulation, but as you can see, maximum life becomes 1 there, and we're actually using our life through blood magic, and we actually reserve it for our spells, which is going to be in the skill section. So let's get back to the gear. We obviously use Cosprey because all of these are contingent on this Cosprey. On our other gear pieces, we just want as high energy shield as possible and fill in some of the extra stats. Some of the extra stats might be accuracy, because we do not have full accuracy. Another unique that you need to have, I find, some people are playing without this. I find it really stupid because yeah, cannot be stunned, because when we have energy shield and no life, so stun is all contingent on how much life you have, and we have very low life. That means we're gonna get stunned a lot, but with this one we are not gonna get that. I choose the Anointment Tranquility because that's the only way of getting it. It's you can look it up yourself, but it's a really nice damage boost because we have so much increased energy shield. Otherwise, just pick up some stats. We're gonna need some stats on, I mean, gloves is a good slot to get the stats on. Dexterity, for example, because we're gonna need it for our Cosprey to reach those benchmarks. Increase cooldown recovery at least 14% as all of the custom crit build, and I mean, tailwind is always nice if you can pick it up. And I mean, the rings, you can get a lot of energy shield from your rings, because the new Crusader mod is you can get up to 15% increased maximum energy shield, and if you put the quality on there, it goes up to 18. And you can see how much energy shield, and both of these I crafted myself. But of course you need to use a lot of dense fossils, and they cost at least 4 chaos apiece. Otherwise I think it's very generic. Just go as much ES, fill up your resistances. If you can balance your resistances for a Wise Oak, that would be even nicer. I did not do that, otherwise you cold rest. For our flasks, we are gonna go with Rumi's I don't even know how to, let's just say Rumi's, and because it gives us block chance, and we actually scale some block chance through our tree also. Ball of Faith is very nice on top of that, because we're gonna need to get those extra crit. The more we crit, we're gonna need to get that Cyclone critical strike chance all the way up to 100% if we can, because If we don't, we're gonna lose out on some of the hits. And Diamond Flask, of course, same as here. These synergize very well, so you get that extra crit going. Wise Oak is a very solid choice, but I might actually go for one more normal flask, so I can get bleed immunity or something like that, because I think I died to that already twice and it's very annoying. So you might want to switch this one for something else with the bleed immunity. There might be one of those dodge facing flasks. And of course we want a Quicksilver flask for some faster and immune to freezing, because you are gonna get frozen sooner or later on from the mobs. Jewels, if we bring up the tree here, if I can find the button. For jewels, of course, we're going to go with Frozen Trail to cast out those extra frost bolts. We're going to use energy from within, because if you take this out, you're going to gain a little bit more at least. And what else do we have? You might want to change this one, I don't know. It's a cheap option to actually get. And also you can get Corrupted Blood on that one, so that would be pretty neat. Otherwise we have Transcendent Mind, and that gives us almost all the accuracy we need for this build, so I would highly recommend that one. Otherwise you're gonna need to scale accuracy all over on your gear pieces. So with this one, with precision and some accuracy on the gear piece, that means you have 100%. Otherwise, just some attack mods and of course energy shield on every single jewel here, and fill in your resistance and whatever stat. We're gonna be starving a lot on strength, so you might want to pick up strength from this one, because some of the jewels we are using, or skill gems, actually need strength. And a Watcher's Eye. I highly recommend to have a Watcher's Eye. I got one with double mods. Obviously that is going to be expensive, over 20 exalted at least. But the only one we need here is the energy shield gained from each enemy hit while affected by discipline. That's the only one we actually need here. So, skill tree, you can just copy this one. Is pretty well optimized as it is right now. I think if you don't want to go Ghost Reaver, that is fine, then you can spec out of it, but I find it really good, synergize very well with the Watcher's Eye, so I would still go with that one. Otherwise it's basic generic stuff, some energy shield, filling up with whatever dexterity for our Cosprees, pain attunement of course, because we are on low life at all time. Picking up as much as possible. If you have more levels, I would probably pick up these block shunts, because that would be pretty neat also. And otherwise, yeah, it's very generic custom crit build here. Just pick, instead of the life nodes that I picked on my other build, I picked energy shield for this one. For our Ascendancy, we always pick the same ones. These are obviously the best. You need to go with these in either case. What are we next? We have our Pantheons. Sorry. Skill gems first. Skill gems. We are gonna use Frostbolt, Ice Nova, and Energy Leech in our main setup. Cyclone, increase critical strike, custom crit, fortify, hypothermia, Ice Nova. If you don't feel like you have enough damage, obviously you can take out fortify and put in a damaging one. I have a cost on crit or cost on damage taken here. I did not know what to put in it, so I just used Tempest Shield and Frostbomb. You can use whatever there. And I have always a portal gem, because I've never used any portal scroll. Flame Dash is very good to get over ledges, and also activating our arcane surge when we use Flame Dash, which is pretty often. Herald of Ice is going to be our aura, and we are also going to use Discipline, of course, because of the energy shield, and Hatred. If you want all three of these, we kind of need an Enlightened 4 to make this happen. And here we go why low life is pretty good. It is because then we can use the life here in our blood magic. So if you link blood magic with frostbite and awaken of blasphemy, which boosts our frostbite by 1 more level, that is very nice and gives us some extra range there. And with precision, that means it's gonna take from our life pool and not our mana, so we can use both our mana and our life pool to reserve all our spells and auras and everything. So that I highly recommend to set it up like this. The only thing that is different here would be this setup right here. And now we can get into, if I can find the button, for our Pantheons, we're just gonna use Soul of Lunaris and Soul of Shakiri. And for our bandits, I highly recommend to kill Alira, because the stats and elemental resistance and everything like that, and mana regen and it's just gonna be very helpful in the long run. So there we have it, quick and dirty. Obviously, if you can afford this kind of gear, I think you're a pretty veteran player at this game, and you can make your own consumption by just looking at my path of building. And I'm gonna start selling off my gear now and trying out the new character, because I have no currency at the time. So I really want to try out a few other custom crit builds and just see which one is actually the ultimate one in the end. So I want to thank you all for watching this, and like always, put a like on this video, and I see you in the next one. Have an awesome day, everyone.